Each week, we try to get a segment that we can pop out in its own YouTube video. So this week, I think it would be good if we kind of give our predictions on which of these movies that we just said see or skip will make the most money at the box office.
Sure. Why don't you go first?
All right, so I think for me, it really comes down to the three Disney movies, probably unsurprisingly. Lion King, Spider-Man, and Toy Story 4. I think Toy Story 4 was the one I looked at initially where I was like, oh yeah, that's going to make so much money. But the more I think about it, I think coming off of Endgame, people loved that so much. People love Spider-Man in general, as we discussed on this podcast. I have to say, I think Spider-Man Far From Home is going to make similar to like Captain Marvel money. You know, that kind of a range. I think it made like 600-ish for Homecoming. I think it'll probably like double that for Far From Home. So for me, I think Spider-Man Far From Home is going to be the breakout hit of this summer season.
Okay. I'm actually going to go with Lion King. I think Lion King
Okay.
has the potential to break 2 billion. I can see that this being a movie where people are going to go multiple times. They're going to go once by themselves, once with the kids.
That makes sense for sure.
Something like that. I'm hard going with Lion King. Like I think that Lion King has potential to. It's not going to catch something like Avatar or Endgame or Titanic. I think it's going to be something that's going to catch maybe like Infinity War. Like around like that range of the movies. I think it's probably going to be like a top 10 all-time box office maker. That's a tough set. Lion King for sure. That's going to be a movie where people from all generations going to see it. You're going to get people that are new to movies that are going to go see it just because, oh, I've heard Lion King. Sure. You're going to get people that was their favorite movie as a kid and they still watch it. You're going to get people like me where my kid now watches Lion King and I've seen Lion King, the animated movie, pretty much like once a week for the past year. So
this is going to be a big one.
Yeah. I think even bigger than Toy Story, because Toy Story, I think Toy Story, you'll get like that weird group of people where like they don't want to go see this in the movie theater because it's a kids movie, so they'll wait for like to be able to rent it at home or something like that. Where Lion King, I think Lion King like is going to be a massive movie. The thing that it always matters is how will it do overseas, mainly in like countries like China is what really affects their total gross like this. Right. And that's kind of things like Star Wars. I think Star Wars beat Avatar and Infinity War both in the U.S. Like I could be wrong. I think maybe Endgame might have passed Force Awakens. I could be wrong because I think Force Awakens made like a shitload of money in the U.S. And the problem with Star Wars is that Star Wars really does not have that big of a fandom over in countries like Japan and China.
Yeah, it's so funny. China doesn't give a shit about Star Wars.
No, and so like imagine a movie like Force Awakens having the audience. Force Awakens, if they had the Chinese audience, would have Endgame and Avatar wouldn't even be close.
Right.
And so I guess I don't know how Lion King does in countries like China. I don't know how Disney as a whole does in countries like China because China's weird with their censorship and all that. So I don't really know how all that works. But if this movie does well in China, this movie's gonna make probably close to like $2 billion. Like and like looking at when it comes out before, you have to look at this too, of like where these movies are placed. So coming out before Lion King, you have Spider-Man, which comes out 17 days before Lion King.
Yeah, they gave it a good like room to breathe, I guess would be the best way to put it.
And then you have Once Upon a Time in Hollywood coming out a week after. And the thing with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is odds are you're not going to get the kids audience going in and seeing a Tarantino movie. So, and really before Lion King, like Disney knows what they're doing. They're not dumb. Before Lion King, Toy Story 4 comes out on June 21st. So there's relatively almost an entire month that Toy Story has to run its course for people then to be able to go see Spider-Man and then be able to go see Lion King. So I think Lion King, and then after that, because after Lion King, there's also going to be there's nothing. There's Hobbs and Shaw after that. There's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which I don't think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is going to take any money away from Lion King.
Right.
Yeah, Lion King is going to be, I'm quoting here, a $2 billion movie.
Hey, I can see that. I think you're totally right with their spacing of stuff for Disney, because like they had Aladdin, and then like literally like a month later Toy Story, then literally a month later Lion King, and then same deal with Infinity War and Spider-Man. You know, they do a good job at not getting in their own way and still producing movies that people are going to see. And I think a really big thing is Beyonce being in this movie. I think that is huge. I think she has one of the most dedicated fan bases in like the world,
Yep.
and they're gonna come out for this in force.
I actually think an interesting battle is going to end up being, does Lion King beat Once Upon a Time in Hollywood on its opening weekend?
Right.
Which I really think it could. I really think that Lion King's going to have that 1 to 3 week span where it's going to be the number one movie. But if it beats Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it's probably the number one movie for up until Hobbs and Shaw comes out, because you're going to get the people that are so dedicated to those Fast and Furious movies to go out and see that.
Right.
Yeah, like I said, $2 billion. I'm setting like the goal at that. I think they hit that, and Disney and it's soon, they already pretty much do. They're gonna own the world.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
Like Disney has to do something with this money.
Mm-hmm.
And
Disney, we're for sale. You know, if you want to give us like a cool $500 million, whatever, you can own the podcast. It's fine. We'll work for you.